The headlines are sometimes a bit gloomy when it comes to the future of regional New Zealand. Warnings about zombie towns, dying regions, shrinking ratepayer bases and that kind of carry on. As we reported last week, the Otago town of Cromwell is growing so fast they have an accommodation crisis. And now the steampunk capital, Oamaru, is on the up too, with foreign buyers sniffing around the property market, businesses expanding, investors after a buck. Our reporter Lydia Anderson headed to Oamaru to check it out.
20 years ago, you could be forgiven for calling Oamaru a picturesque but sleepy retirement town. But now it's a nature tourism drawcard and manufacturing jobs are increasing. Waitaki Mayor Gary Kircher laughs at the sleepy town memory.
I think if you talk to most locals, they see it as being a different town. You used to walk along the street and it would seem like you recognise pretty much everybody. Now you walk along the street and there's just so many strangers. As far as I don't know that person, sometimes it's hard to tell whether they're actually just visiting or whether they are locals.
Property values across the Waitaki district have leapt nearly 11% in the past year, according to QV. Now, China's largest international property website, Juwai.com, has listed Oamaru as the fourth most viewed place in New Zealand, ahead of Wellington. The mayor says he's not worried about the international attention. Instead, he welcomes it.
What we're not seeing is huge numbers of Chinese buying up all our properties and the price going through the roof and making it unaffordable for local people. Hey, look, that's pretty cool. Pretty happy with that. If people are interested in Oamaru, they find out a bit more about it, even if it's just that they end up coming and visiting and having a look and staying. That's great.
An average three-bedroom house in Oamaru could set you back less than $300,000, still very affordable compared to Auckland's $1 million-plus market. Former Mayor turned Ray White real estate agent Alan McClay says he's had a lot of interest from Aucklanders as well as those further afield. In the past few months, Mr McClay has sold residential property to Americans and an Irish-Kiwi couple moving into the town, plus a large commercial premises to a Melbourne businessman. He cites dairy expansion in the district as a driver of the town's prosperity.
Like in the last few years, I'm sure that's been the driver for growth, for bringing young people back, for creating jobs across the board at a wider level than you'd think.
But it's not just dairy pushing the boom. Manufacturing businesses are growing too. The chief executive of Oamaru-based Whitestone Cheese, Simon Berry, says he was surprised by the increase in demand for specialty cheese that's led to his company announcing it's doubling capacity and expanding its Humber Street site.
When you look at the scale of things now, it's definitely, it's a little bit daunting, but at the same time it's exciting. And we've controlled the growth to a certain degree, and in the last few years it's been a little bit frustrating that we haven't been able to meet our growth targets because of our capacity constraints. So it'd be nice to move into a stage that we've got excess capacity.
And the expansion means new jobs, something Simon Berry is already getting calls about from workers as far afield as Tauranga. Another manufacturer, sweet maker Rainbow, is reportedly spending $3 million to triple production and may have jobs for some of the 360 workers from the Dunedin Cadbury factory, now slated for closure. Mayor Gary Kircher says the current growth doesn't put Oamaru in danger of reaching a population tipping point, and he's committed to making sure the town remains an affordable place. In Oamaru for Checkpoint, Lydia Anderson.